Hello! Today I'm going to do a drawing tutorial today and teach you how to draw the last Ronin from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics. Based off the original 1984 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle books by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the last Ronin depicts a more older and vengeful Michelangelo set in a dark future where his brothers had been killed off, spawning two spin-off series from the success of the book's release. Now for this, of course, you need the basics like a sketchbook, two pencils, one for lighter shading, one for darker, a good eraser to erase any marks and unnecessary, lines, a pencil sharpener in order to make sure, your pencils stay sharpened, and of course these graphite pens. And of course, if this is your first time drawing these kind of things, you're also going to need a good referencing point. In this case, I'm going to choose to use this Last Ronin figure created by the toy company NECA of the Last Ronin as a good referencing point. The first thing you want to do is get the perspective right using the thumb method, and then get your lighter pencil, your first one, to create a skeleton. After that, then we can use skeletal structure to create the first outer layer, which in this case is comprised mostly of shapes, mostly oval shaped. Make sure you get the structure on your right too, use your eraser as well, just in case. To make a couple lines like I just did. Good. Then, once you have that done, you should have a pretty good basis of the body structure so far. So, once you get the basic structure of the character down, you can start adding the details and other features, such as the knee pads on his legs, the gauntlets on his arms, the shoulder pads on his shoulders, his belt, his head and its features, and of course you can't forget the jacket, which he's currently wearing. So finally, you get the full version of the character here, and it's almost near completed form. So once you get most of the design down, you can then start adding other stuff onto there in detail, such as the wrinkles on his jacket, the scuffs on his gauntlets and armor parts, and even the little goggles he's got on his neck. And of course, don't forget the details on his hands as well, because that's going to be the hardest part to do, is usually the hands. And of course, the last part you need before fully completing the rest of the design is the weapons. Now in this case, the Last Ronin has 4 different weapons: his sais, his katana, his bow staff, and this metal tonfa of his. Now, most of the shapes of his weaponry are mostly rectangular and cylinder based. Think of it kind of like the outer model used when I was doing the skeletal basis for the Last Ronin himself. In this case, it's more simplified since there's not much detail you can add to these. Once you get the weapons down, you pretty much have a nearly perfect look-alike of the actual character and the character model used for this. However, we aren't exactly done yet. Next thing you're going to do is that you're going to take your second pencil and you're basically going to darken a lot of the pencil linings, and put any extra detail I may have missed. Now the last part of this is to draw over the pencil lines with these graphite pens that are specifically designed for drawing. So for this, I'm going to be using this 1 milliliter pen to color in the black colors around the character, like in his mask, this 8 milliliter pen to do the outline, and this brush pen to get stuff like the wrinkled areas and so on. And of course, one final thing you want to add to make the character really pop out more is you're going to want to take your number 2 pencil and darken the lines a bit more, add a bit of shadow, use shaded volumes and such. And with that, once you got the details down, you should have a perfectly, or rather near perfect, replica of the Last Ronin from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And that's how you draw the Last Ronin.